welcome, welcome. For those of you who are new to our channel, hello, hello, hello. Welcome. We are the Sammie Nicole and FeeFee show, and we are a dynamic and the only dynamic mother-daughter duo here on YouTube. And on our channel, we love discussing all things love, life, relationships, pop culture, all that good stuff from both the Millennium perspective, myself, Sammie Nicole, and the Gen X perspective, my oh so beautiful mother, FeeFee. All right. So if you like our channel and you like what we stand for, you can typically catch us every Thursday and Saturday. We typically will put out a notice when we go live. For the most part, we go live around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but we do live in Atlanta, and it is a lot warmer. The weather's beautiful, so we'll be coming live a little bit earlier than normal because we have a life, right? We want to get out in these streets and enjoy ourselves. But we'll always make sure to let our people know when we're going live, if we're going live at a different time, so they can be aware of it. Okay. So with that being said, please consider joining the dynamic family. All you have to do is simply subscribe to our channel. Make sure you select the all for the drop down menu, so that way you can get notified each and every single time that we go live, and then boom, you're a part of the dynamic family. And yeah, so that's all you got to do. Also, we would encourage you, if you are not already following us on Facebook, please do so. Again, if you are not already following us on Facebook, what you waiting for? Give us a follow on Facebook, y'all. Give us a follow on Facebook, okay? And make sure you share the live if you have any family or friends or people that you know that you think may like our content, all right? With that being said, let's go ahead and get into our disclaimers. First things first, everything that we're going to be saying tonight is allegedly. Everything we're going to be saying tonight is allegedly, yes. Everything that we're going to be saying tonight is allegedly. Even our names are allegedly, okay? Second, all individuals are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. All individuals are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And yes, we are coming a little bit earlier tonight. For this spring and summer, we may be coming a little bit earlier than usual on our scheduled Thursday and Saturdays because the weather is getting really beautiful out here in Atlanta. And we have lives outside of this. Contrary to what the trolls and Sonia may think, we are Black women who do have lives. So just keep that in mind. We may be coming a little bit earlier than our regular scheduled 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays and Saturdays. But what we will do is we'll schedule the live in advance, so that way you know what specific time we're going live. So again, for the spring and summer, we will have some shows where they're scheduled earlier than normal, but we will go ahead and schedule the live ahead of time so you guys know when we're going live. So just kind of keep that in mind moving forward for the spring and summer. So if you see us going live, just keep in mind that we did schedule it ahead of time, so let everybody know. All right, and shout out to everybody that's going to be watching the replay. If you guys could please double tap the screen to like this live, or in the upper right hand corner, click on the three dots and hit the like button. Hey Queen Lily, hey y'all. Please, in the upper right hand corner, click on the three dots and hit the like button. Double tap to like the live, or if you're watching the replay, hey replay gang, what's up family? Down below, make sure you hit the like button. All right, with that being said,
we got a lot to talk about.
We got a lot to talk about. It's a lot going on in the world.
The trolls are out.
The trolls are out. Thank you. Shout out to all of our mods helping us block them. It's a lot going on in the world. We got a lot to talk about. I'll let you go ahead and you want to get us started.
We got a lot to talk about. Let's talk about that call with Dre. Ernesto. We finally heard from Dre. Dre called us.
He called us. Y'all been asking where Dre was at.
We was asking where Dre was at. Dre finally picked up the phone and called us. Thank you, Dre. Hey, it was good hearing from you, Dre. Glad all is well. You know, Dre said he having a little problem with his son. And Dre, just hang on in there. Keep him in prayer. You know, you just got to keep your son in prayer, Dre. And it's going to be all right. This too shall pass, Dre. This too shall pass. You know, I know you probably did all you could do. I know you spent, you know, half of your time incarcerated. So, you know, you probably didn't have a lot input on your child. But when you got out, I'm sure you did the best you could. You know, Your friend trying to encourage you too. And we know he ain't did shit for his kids.
Oh, you coming in hot today.
So, but hang on in there, Drake. Hang on in there with your son. It was good hearing from you. Glad everybody, your mama doing good, your sister doing good, everybody doing good, and you doing good. Just hang on in there. Hang on in there. And I'm praying for you and your son, Dre. Praying for you and your son, Dre. Glad everything is well. Glad everything is well. Dre need to sit his head down. Yeah, Dre. Dre. You know, Dre called to check on his partner, you know. See how we're doing. Dre just needed to emotionally dump on somebody. And Nesta, what a good person to dump on, Nesta. Somebody already down in jail. Might as well dump on him. So he went ahead and, you know, told him what was going on with his son and everything like that. And, you know, they was just small talking, just doing a lot of small talking, you know. And, you know, he told Nesto keep his head up. You know, Nesto still talking like he gonna get out next week. He gonna touch down next Saturday. He in his mind, he still, you know.
He coming home.
He coming home.
Nesto said, my God say I'm coming home.
I know that. I'm coming home, y'all. I'm coming home.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What, man? Man, just hang on in there. You remember my son used to give me, Nesto said he had a son that gave him some problems. Everything worked out with him. You know, so they just shooting shit. Thank you for the 249.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So yeah, y'all. Can you show?
No, That's a troll. Go ahead.
So his partner can't get him no advice. His partner can't do nothing with him. But I'm glad he called Nesto, because I was wanting to hear from Dre, and I'm glad Dre went ahead and called us. Now Dre tried to throw a little shade. Dre, you tried to throw a little shade. Talking about all the big YouTubers ain't talking about it no more. All the big bloggers ain't talking about it no more. It's just the little bloggers. Well, we big bloggers over here, and we still talking about Nesto.
Mm-hmm. And is.
And is.
Mm-hmm.
So Dre, we big over here, and we still talking about it. Okay.
All right. Can I get my
Go ahead.
All right. So, okay, my perspective with listening to Dre talk to Ernesto and confiding him with what he's going through with his baby boy, I felt for Dre. I did, and let me tell you why. Listening to Dre talk to Ernesto about what he was going through with his baby boy, to me, it seems like Dre was intimating that his son is getting into drugs, and that he's hanging out with the wrong crowd, and he's doing things that he should not be doing, and he's not trying to listen to anything that Dre is telling him, his mom is telling him, Dre's older son, his older brother, and it's just being really it's heartbreaking for Dre and for his baby boy's mom and his older son as well. The family's just hurt the way his younger son, his baby boy, is acting. And, you know, I felt for him because it reminded me of what my daddy went through with my older brother. So for those of you all who don't know, I have an older brother on my daddy's side from a previous relationship that he was in 10 years prior before he met my mom. So me and my brother are 10 years apart. And, you know, growing up, you know, my dad, he grew up in poverty. He didn't really have a close relationship with his father. His godparents took him in because it was just a lot going on in the household with his mom. So his mom didn't really raise him during his like formative years. It was his godparents, right? And, you know, my father, he did the best he could. He had my brother when he was 20 years old. Hey, everybody. And, you know, he was a young father trying to figure it out, and he wanted to be there for his son, but he didn't know anything about raising a child or being a father because, you know, he didn't really grow up with his father. And so he made the decision to go into the Air Force in order to provide a better life for his son at the age of like 20. Now, he may have been like 18, 19. And so, you know, I say that to say that, you know, even though my father didn't have the best example of what it meant to be a father, when he had his baby boy, you know, as a young man, very, very young man, he tried to do the best he could to instill values in my brother. Now, was my daddy perfect? No, he was not. But, and like Dre is not perfect, but my dad did love his son, and he did the best he could as a father to try to, teach him right from wrong and raise him, the right way.
I got it.
And really prepare him for, the real world as a black man in this society. But unfortunately, my brother, he didn't want to listen to the wisdom and the guidance that my dad was trying to instill in him. And he decided he wanted to go his own way and listen to his friends and, listen to his older brother on his mom's side who was involved in illegal activities and doing, drugs and stuff like that. And so he went against the grain. And, unfortunately, my brother, he spent, time in and out of the prison system because of the poor decisions that he made. And, even at this stage of life, he regrets not listening to my father. And so, I really, when I was listening to Dre speak to Ernesto, that's why my heart went out for him, because I watched my father, constantly trying to stand in the gap for my brother and, trying to save him and help him and still be there for him even when he wasn't listening to him, even when he was going down the wrong path, because he didn't want to see his son locked up. And it's just unfortunate. It really is. It's unfortunate. I know a lot of times we talk about absentee fathers in the black community, but, not everybody that's getting into trouble or behind bars is without a father figure. You do have young men who grew up with fathers that did love them and try to teach them about manhood and try to advise them and guide them and mentor them on how to, navigate life as young black men in America, and they still don't want to listen. They still don't want to listen. And so it's just unfortunate. It's really, really unfortunate. Do I think Dre is perfect? No, none of them are. But, I can tell that he does love his children and that he, tried to do the best he could to raise his son. I'm pretty sure he's talked to his sons about his experience being incarcerated and the poor choices that he made and how he didn't want to see them go down the wrong path, and to see that his baby boy is headed down that path. Who knows? He may mess around and be locked up with Ernesto. I don't want to speak that in his life, and I hope that doesn't happen. But to me, that's where it sounds like it's going. It's just unfortunate, and it's really sad, and it's just really disheartening to see. And I know that there are a lot of parents that are probably going through something like that. And it's just sad. Nobody wants to see their children going down the wrong path and wants to have a strained relationship with their children. So it's just unfortunate to see that he's going through that. And, like Dre said, he said they worried about what's on social media, what their friends doing, the pants sagging, and they just ripping and running the street thinking they gangster. And I don't know, y'all. I don't know. What are we going to do in our community about some of our young men, these YNs? We make jokes about it. But, a lot of them are just going down the wrong path. And with this current administration, they think they on their tail now. They really going to be on them when it comes to the judicial system. And it's just, this is a growing epidemic, I may argue, about what's going on with our young black men and, intentionally getting into trouble. It's one thing, you already have to worry about, being wrongfully accused of crimes and receiving harsher sentences just merely because of the color of your skin. But then you add on to the fact where you're actually playing into the system now. Like, you are intentionally breaking the law because you think it's cool to do so, when you know that the system is already designed and set up for you to lose anyway. And here you are playing into it. And it's just like, come on now. We got to do better. We got to do better. And I don't know what it's going to take for these young men to see, the trap that's been put in place for their failure, for their demise. I don't know if they think it's a game or they think people just talking out the side of their neck, but ain't nothing sweet about being locked up like an animal. Ain't nothing sweet about it. And I don't know if because they see videos on TikTok and Instagram of guys who are locked up and they see them flashing money and still wearing designer jewelry and belts and stuff in prison, so they think it's cool.
D1661 say it's the
But
music. It's the music that shows.
that's not reality. It's a lot of dark stuff that goes on behind those jail walls, those prison walls. You know, a lot of traumatic things that happen. And I don't know. I guess we got to stop glorifying it. Yeah, like you said, D1661. We got to stop glorifying it because it's not a game. And you think the prison system is worse, is bad now, excuse me. It's about to get even worse under this administration. So I just don't know what we need to do. I guess we need more black male mentors in the community. Somebody need to have a real heart to heart with these young black men, you know, and let them know like this is not a game. Maybe the rappers, they need to change, but it's a business for them, so they not gonna stop rapping. And you know, majority of these rappers who rap about stuff, they not doing what they rap about. You know, majority of them. You have some who are, but I don't know what it's gonna take. I don't know what it's gonna take, but it seems like it's just getting worse and worse as the decades go on. Queen Lily said Dre better start talking, make a deal with Fonnie to save his son, just in case in the future his son f up. I'm just saying, do what you gotta do, Dre. Nesta is f up anyway. Yeah, because basically the way Dre was talking, it sounded like baby boy is headed down that path. I hate to speak that over his life, but he basically saying like his son think he a gangster, and then he trying to get into the rap. And so you know, with the rap culture, they do a lot of, you know, narcotics and substance abuse, and they into the street life and the gang life. You know, we saw how that played out when Young Thug and them. You know, speaking of Young Thug, we'll talk about that a little later on. And I don't know what it's gonna take, y'all. I just don't know what it's going to take. But it's just unfortunate to see our black men falling into that trap, you know, when you can be doing so much more productive things with your life. You know, they're intentionally waiting for you. It's like that school to prison pipeline, you know. And I saw something on social media that came out where, you know, people are all in uproar because the gender gap between black women and black men in college is widening, you know. And there's a significant increase of black females in college as opposed to black males. You know, they outweigh the black men significantly as far as like attendance enrollment goes in college. There's more young black women enrolled in college than black men, and talking about what that's going to look like for the future.
And they're also saying that a lot of young boys that are in elementary and that are in middle school, like 6th, 7th grade, they can't read.
Yeah. And that and then I've seen other people talk about how, you know, they think that the reason why you see such a disparity between the genders is because, you know, black girls are taught to prioritize education, whereas little black boys are not. People are saying that, you know, we tend to push athletics on black boys instead of really like focusing on how important education is. You know, it's one thing to be athletically inclined, but you need to be doing well academically as well. And some people think that, you know, we put more pressure on the black girls to excel academically more so than we do the black boys. And that's another reason why, you know, there's less of them enrolled in college, you know. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, yes, trade jobs are cool too. I would have to look up the stats to see how many young black men are going to trade school. But that's also a great route to take as well. If you're not going to enroll in a traditional, community college or 4-year college, definitely go to trade school. But I don't even know how many young black men are interested in that. I would have to look that up. But it's just really concerning. It's really, 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 really concerning. And I think now more than ever, I think that black men need to band together. And, you know, I know we live in an individualistic country, but based off of where we're at in this present times that we're in, I think that we need to go back to being more communal like we originally were. And I
what do you mean by that?
Looking out for one another, you know, If you see a child doing the wrong thing, correct that child. You know, you don't have to necessarily beat them down to the ground, but correct them, and the parent actually supports you in doing that, instead of, don't say nothing to my child, don't check my child. Duh, 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 duh. You know, it used to be where the community looked out for the children, you know, and they actually tried to make a concerted effort to create a safe environment for children. If they saw a child getting out of place, even if that child was no kin to them, they were still there to correct them, you know, as they saw fit, and the parents didn't have any issue with it. That's what I mean. You know, hey Didi Phoenix, what's up?
Hey.
And I think too, you know, we're not going to be able to look to the powers that be to save us. I mean, I think we all are clear about that. We're not expecting that. I think we're good on that. I think more so it needs to start with black men. And, you know, we do have certain things like that in Atlanta, you know, on like a micro level. So here in Atlanta, we have something called like Best Academy, where it's like a, I don't know if it's a charter or private school. It might be a charter school, but it's specifically for African American boys.
Yeah.
And they have mentors come in and speak to the young boys, and, you know, talk to them about academics and their career and life goals. And on the first day of school, they have like a bunch of black men dressed up in suits, and they kind of form a line, and the little black boys get to walk down the line and give all the black adult men high fives, and, you know, just there to encourage them, you know, and to, you know, mentor them and show them a healthy and positive example of a black man that they can aspire to as they get older. And I think we need more of that. I think that, you know, we always hear black men, you know, complaining about not being able to show up as men or as their authentic selves, and things of that nature. But I think it's time that they reclaim the younger generations, the young black boys, and really take them under their wing and teach them, you know, positive ways to exist. You know, if you don't want to go to school, then let's learn a trade. Let me teach you about entrepreneurship. Let me teach you about how to start your own lawn care business, or a plumbing company, or you know, car wash, or a barbershop, whatever that may be. I just think that black men need to lean on each other now more than ever, and they need to stop, you know, getting distracted by fighting with black women, and focus on working together amongst themselves, and really reaching back and taking up the younger black boys and the younger black men underneath them, and really, you know, work together and try to help each other out. I really do. I really do. And I think that they need to create that space for each other, you know, and work it out amongst themselves. Because I do feel like, you know, I know that a lot of times some women may find themselves in situations where they're single mothers, and you have to do what you have to do. There may not be a man around, and I respect that. I get that. But I think that there's just certain things about manhood that only a man can teach another man. Like with womanhood, you know, you can be raised by your father. He can do the best he can, but he's your father, not your mother. And there's only certain, you know, there's certain things about womanhood that he's just not going to be able to relate on, you know. And at best, he can find somebody, another woman who he trusts and who he thinks is safe and worthy to mentor you and teach you about those aspects of womanhood that he can't do. And I think that, you know, vice versa. So I just think that now more than ever, it's time for black men to, on a macro level, to be more proactive about mentoring the younger black men under them, and talking to them and helping them, you know, get, you know, see things for what they really are in society, and help them to make better decisions, and really mentor them and guide them and help them, and create a safe space for them to express themselves as well. You know, I just think it's needed. And I think that, you know, because we are such an individualistic society, we value, I'm not effing with them, I'm just staying to myself, or I'm only effing with a few people. And I get in some instances that can be safe to do so, because we live in a crazy world. And sometimes, you know, you have to watch your back around people. Not everybody has good intentions. And sometimes you can be out there with good intentions, wanting to help people, and you can still get burned. You can still get crossed. And so I understand the caution that surrounds that, but I still think that it's worth trying, you know?
I agree with that. But in this case with Dre, Dre has to take some responsibility and accountability as well as to what's going on with his son.
Yeah, Glorious Love said black men can't just throw money at the situation. They have to actually raise their sons.
Right. Yeah. Dre, we all know that Dre was incarcerated, and you don't know how that affect a child, how how that could have affected his son not having his dad there for so many years, in and out of his life, so I think that Dre, eh, has to accept responsibility for that too, you know.
Mm-hmm. And that's why he said, he was like, to Ernesto, he was like, I don't know, what did I do in my past? Is this karma? Did I do something in my past to bring this karma on with my son?
Yes.
And that's why, nah, you ain't did nothing. You been a good person. Nah, you ain't did nothing. You a good person.
Right.
But like you said, maybe it is something like that, But I just think that now more than ever, it's time for black men to work amongst themselves and get on the same page. I know not every black man is going to want to be on the same page, because all skinfolk ain't kinfolk, but I think the majority of them really need to start pushing the issue. Get off these damn podcasts, put the mics up,
and stop trying to tell women what they should do.
What
and
they
go
should
see
do.
About your damn sons.
Go see about your fucking kids. Get in your community. See about your damn kids. See about your nephews, your little cousins, your little brothers, and really be in the community. You ain't got to save all the black boys, but the black boys who are within your ecosystem, you should see about, and you should feel a sense of accountability and obligation to.
Mm-hmm.
You should. And as black women, we need to step back, because a lot of us are tired. A lot of us would love to have the luxury to
and
step
call
back
their daddies
and call their
come
daddy.
Get your son.
Come get your son. A lot of black women would love that, but
get him.
Right, but a lot of times we don't have that luxury, so we got to step up to the plate. So that would also be great for the black woman to be able to say, okay, I can step back. You teach him the right things. Don't be teaching him the wrong thing, because you got some men who would take these little boys up underneath their wing, which is why a lot of them are attracted to gangs, right? Mm-hmm. Look at the Young Thug situation, the YSL trial. When a lot of those young boys got on stand who were on trial, the first thing they said was, well, one of the main reasons I decided to join a gang was because I wanted to feel like I belonged to something. Mm-hmm. I wanted to feel like I had a family, right? And so, that's why I think it's so important for black men to build that community amongst themselves where,
they choose men wisely, ladies.
They can really, teach each other positive things and really bond and create a safe space for each other and teach each other the principles of manhood and really help one another navigate through this world, because it's a very unique experience being a black man in this world. It's like none other. And so I just think now more than ever, they need to be leaning on each other. And, as messed up as it is, Dre and Nesto.
Hey, I'm here for the show.
Hey, I'm here for the show.
Sis?
As messed up as it may sound, Dre and Nesto have built their own little community, And he thought he built it with Lamont and the other guys, but Lamont said, ninja bye.
Lamont gone.
Lamont gone. And speaking of Lamont, why he got the nerve to call Dre and say he was checking on Nesto? No, and Nesto talking about, I ain't heard from him. He ain't put no money on the books. If Lamont ain't fake as F, I don't know what it is. Hey, Karen. Lamont is a trip.
Hey, y'all.
But going back to my point, y'all, I just think for the black men, it's time to just step up.
We really do need
and build that community. Yeah, don't worry about what us black women. Don't worry about us wearing the weave, the fake nails, the lashes, being overweight, having attitudes.
Go get your sons.
Just focus on y'all, and also be more mindful about who you impregnate.
Woo!
Be more selective about your seed. Be more selective about who you choose to have women with, because Like
That'd be sweet.
like Dre was talking to Nesto. He was like,
hit the likes, trolls.
hit the like, y'all. Double tap the screen before
hit
we block y'all. Hit the like button, y'all. Please double tap the screen and hit the like button. If you're watching the replay down below, hit the like button below, y'all. Let's see. I'm here for the show. Said I love the conversation. It was the most genuine, supportive conversation this one has ever had on Global Tail Link. Yeah. And I feel like too, you know, speaking of that, men being more strategic and selective about who they, you know, give their seed to, just like a woman should be selective and intentional and strategic about who she shares her womb with. You know, Dre mentioned how he was going through things with his baby boy's mother growing up and how she gave him a hard time. You know, he had to go through the court and other things just to be able to have access to his son, and it was just a lot going on, you know, with his son's mother. And he was talking about, you know, now that his son is a young adult and he's giving him a hard time and her a hard time too, him and his son's mother, they're closer now than what they've ever been, you know. And, you know, him and Nesto, they were bonding over how they went through a lot of, you know, turmoil with their children's mother. And it had me thinking about another thing. You know, I'm not saying that there aren't bitter women out there who give men a hard time when it comes to seeing their children, because there are, and I hold space for that and I acknowledge that. But we also got to talk about how, you know, when men do things to dishonor the mother of their children and it leaves a bad taste in her mouth. Not saying it's right, but it leaves a bad taste in her mouth to where she is dealing with a lot of hurt and pain. And, you know, she is maybe bitter. Or maybe she knows that, you know, you're not on the up and up and she don't want you around her child because she feels like her child may not be safe. You know, I don't feel like men acknowledge those two components enough. I feel like men just sometimes think that they can do whatever to the mother of their children, disrespect her or disregard her or not be consistent or not show up the way they're supposed to be. And then the minute they do come back around to being a child's life, they're like, well, why is she acting funny? Why is she giving me a hard time trying to see my child? You know, and making it seem like they're just a victim. And I'm not saying there aren't exceptions to the rule where there are men who literally have been A1 since day one, and the baby mama or the mother of the child or ex-wife is just hell-bent on giving him a hard time. But I feel like, you know, in that moment, I kind of felt like Dre and Ernesto weren't taking accountability for their actions. And even though Dre was like, when you were locked up, Nesto, you still sent packages to your kids. And you still made sure that your child mother had a decent car and lived in a decent neighborhood out there in Cobb County. And, you know, they still got older and made like you didn't do anything for them. But that goes back to our point. You know, providing financially isn't enough. You have to be there emotionally as well. And you have to be not just there physically, but you got to be emotionally present. And you have some fathers where they're there physically and financially, but they don't know how to connect with their child emotionally. And I think that's a part of the reason why none of Nesto's children have been running up there to that Cobb Adult Detention Center. And only that little toothpick lady been running up there that can't keep no food on the stomach. I'm here for the show. So I'm praying for Dre because he is really afraid for his son. Yeah, my heart goes out to him. My heart goes out to him because this is a serious situation.
Yeah.
And if his son don't get it together, you know, it could be a sad ending. And I hope it doesn't happen that way.
That's what I said, Glorious Love. People have to raise their kids. People don't raise their kids nowadays. Some of the stuff I see kids do and say and how they act, I be like, who is raising these kids? Who is raising them? It is just so sad. It's sad, y'all. It is so sad. And then you know, like Samantha was saying, we need to go back to community. But hell, you be scared to say something to some of these kids nowadays.
Because they're not raised right.
Get your top knocked off.
Yeah, because they not raised right.
Because they not raised right, honey. I don't even look at them. I don't even look at them.
Because there's no community. People not raising their kids to respect authority. And I get it. Kids should be able to express themselves, but I think that it should be within reason and it should still be with respect. And I think children should be treated with respect. But nowadays, even if you do talk to some children with respect, they will still disrespect you. They don't care.
They don't care.
And that's a problem too.
They don't care one bit.
Yeah. It's a huge problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. So I just think that we got to be the change we want to see. And I just think that this is just such a common theme. You know, like with mothers and daughters, it's a common theme with fathers and sons. And I just think, too, it's a communication issue as well. You know, not being able to know how to communicate to each other. You know, you're from different generations, so you have different perspectives, and you're not able to really communicate with each other properly. And I think too, based off of what I was able to pick up, the little information that Dre did share, because we know he was trying to be as vague as possible, because he ain't one us in his business. But it sounded like he really tried to spoil his baby boy to make up for lost time.
He gave him a car.
Gave
He
him
said
a truck.
A truck. He said it's sitting here. He mad. He mad. He mad because I won't give it back to him. And so he's trying to, you know, I guess disappoint him by taking his car away. But these kids don't care nothing about that. Hell, my sister take my niece's phone away from her all the time. She could care less.
Yep.
She could care less. So, you know, they just different. The kids nowadays, they're just different.
Yeah, they are.
They're different. They really are.
Let me see. Glorious Love said, we cannot deny the importance of men in children's lives. The father teaches the son how to be a man, and the father teaches the daughter how a man should treat her. Yeah.
Yes.
And I feel like like he may a little bit be spoiled.
Yes,
I think he spoiled the little boy just to make up for maybe not being there, or, you know, whether it was due to his incarceration or him just being on the road trying to provide, you know, because it sounded like there was a breakdown in their relationship
somewhere. But we praying for Dre. We praying. We all gonna keep Dre in our prayers and hope everything work out with his son, because he feeling pretty bad.
Yes, I'm here for the show. They need therapy. Hey, Toya.
Hey, Toya. So we just gonna keep him in the prayers. And then he went on to talk to Dion. What was Dion talking about? None.
Just telling Nesta who got unalive, and
it's rough out here. And then
he said even if he was doing bad, he wouldn't tell him, and even if he was doing good, he wouldn't tell him, because he said he don't want us in his damn business.
He was talking about who got unalive that at that tire shop. That was my coworker's father.
Really?
He owned, my coworker, she's on my team, and that was her father.
Oh, wow.
That Dion was talking about, that got unalived at that tire shop. That was her father.
Wow.
I work with her every day. So, you know, but Dion loved to tell his dad that what's going on out in the street, and Ness don't know. It's a lot going on out there. I know it is. A lot going on out there.
It's a lot going on in the world.
A lot going on in the world. Yep, small world. Yeah, so Dion finally, you know, he made like, I think he was made like that he was trying to call him, or he couldn't get in touch with him.
He told Dre he was gonna call him.
You know, all that bull crap. Yeah, all that dry talking.
Yeah. I'm here for the show. Said Dion just lies out the gate about money for the cars, flat tires, unalive.
Yeah.
He's so dry.
He couldn't go by and get no tires, because the shop was a tire shop. So what he was talking about, I knew about that because it was a tire shop. The man that got unalive sell used tires, and that man had been there forever. So, you know, Dion gonna be Dion. Dion ain't impressed by nobody's daddy. He ain't say, "Daddy, when you come home,
I miss you. I love you.
I love you." None of that. It's just it's a whole nother bid. My daddy locked up again. This just another time he locked up again. We riding it on out. See what's gonna happen. Yeah.
And Nesto know he can't expect nothing from Dion.
Yeah.
But did you catch that, T, when Dre was bringing up Lamont about, you know, he said he reached out, did this, he did that. He said, you know, I ain't even going to say it on the car. I'll tell you when I get out.
whenever that is.
I think Nesto is over Lamont. I think we can confidently say Nesto is over Lamont. Lamont ain't trying to be
Lamont
bothered.
over him too.
Yeah, Lamont will talk about it, but he ain't gonna be about it.
Lamont ain't gonna do nothing.
He ain't doing shit.
He ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing no extras.
No extra.
No extra.
He said he gotta survive. He got his own stuff.
Right.
He said he gotta work on being able to walk to the end of the street without getting tired. He can't be bothered.
You ain't shit.
He can't be bothered.
You ain't shit.
I'm here for some Lamont in Greece. He everywhere but there for his brother.
It was good hearing from Dre. We glad to hear from you, Dre.
Yes.
So glad you called us. We glad you called us, Dre. We've been talking about, we talked you up. I know your ears been burning.
Yes.
Because we, as the old folks say, honey, we talked you up.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. I'm glad you called us, Dre. Call us back sometime. Check on us. And give us an update on your son. Let us know how your son doing. And all of the dynamic family, we sending up prayers and we standing in the gap.
We standing in the gap.
We standing in the gap for Dre's son, y'all. Standing in the gap.
Yes. Yes, sir.
We sending up, and he's in the need of prayer, and we praying for him, y'all. We praying for your son, Dre. We praying.
Because that young man needs it.
Yeah, he needs it.
That young man needs it because the road he going down is not good.
Yeah, it's not
good. And it's sad to hear. And you can tell Dre's heart is hurting.
And Dre, I know you don't want your business out there, but sometimes it's all right to talk about it because you just never know who can get a prayer through for you.
Right.
You know, and God probably put it on your heart to call Nesto and talk about it because you know these big channels, these big bloggers like us listening, and we prayer warriors, and we going to get a prayer through for you, Dre.
Right.
God, see how God work it out?
Yep.
We going to pray for you. I know you didn't. You should have said his name so we can, God said call their names.
Yes.
So we could have called his name out in prayer. But when I pray, I'm going to say Dre's son, Nesto friend.
You so... What? You're so crazy.
To get the prayer through so the Lord will know who I'm talking about. All right, we praying, y'all. We pray. Put the prayer hand emojis.
Prayer hand emojis in the chat
for
y'all.
Dre's son, y'all.
Let's put the prayer hand emojis in the chat.
We putting
for
a prayer
Dre baby boy because he out here with these YNs doing wrong. He on that dope. He need to leave that dope alone.
And these Atlanta streets.
In these Atlanta streets, it ain't safe out here.
This ain't the place where you wanna F up.
It's not. It's not at all. This ain't the place where you want to be in some mess.
One bad move.
Yeah.
One bad move and it could be over.
Then it can be over. So, I'm praying that, Dre baby boy get it together. And
we praying for him, in all seriousness,
yes,
y'all.
In all seriousness, that they can rectify their relationship and have healing. And, like I'm here for the show said, they definitely need to go to some therapy.
Yeah, we praying.
I know he don't want to lose his son to the system because he been through the system, And, it's just unfortunate. It really is. Hopefully the young man will find his way and learn to be, like my mother always taught me, a leader and not a follower. Because it seems like Dre baby boy is being a follower. He's trying to get in with the in crowd instead of following the beat of his own drum and doing what's right for himself.
Because who knows where you would have been on top of that table at 4.
At the kindergarten dance.
On top of that table.
Sweet and low, let me see the Tootsie Roll. Tootsie Roll.
On top of that table down there at the kindergarten. If I hadn't had that talk about you.
To the left, to the right.
You are a leader, not a follower. You would have been a dancer instead of epidemiologist.
Baby, I was on that table in kindergarten. Pumpkin, sweet and roll. Let me see the Tootsie Roll. I was about, 4? Dancing on the tables? Baby.
And we had that talk.
And my auntie used to buy me them cute little outfits from Target, the crop tops with the shorts. Had my little baby belly sticking out, baby. I was getting it. I was getting it, baby. 4 years old.
So yeah, you got to
at the kindergarten.
They are leaders and not followers.
Right.
Just how to talk with them.
And I turned out just fine. Yes, Karen, as Lord help all who are suffering from addiction. Yes, because it seemed like his son is on that.
Yes,
he's experimenting with those narcotics,
that addiction
and he can't
demon.
think. Yeah,
that spirit.
Yeah, it's got his mind messed up. That spirit. Yes, Club Kindercare. Period.
Yes, and it was.
Yes, ma'am. Club Kindercare at 4 years old.
Just embarrassing.
Standing on top of the little toddler table.
But yeah, y'all, we praying.
Yes.
So let's talk about
and I'm tired of talking about it, but she just won't sit down. Like the old folks, like country folks say, she won't sit down.
What is wrong with her? Why won't Manny get somewhere and sit down?
She will not.
She ain't gonna be satisfied till them folks take her down there and leave her. What is wrong with her? What is wrong with that lady?
What is going on with Manny? Manny cannot do right. Manny is always in some ish. For a good Christian woman, she stay in the mess. God don't bless no mess.
She stay in the mess and then turn it around and say it's all in the Lord's work. The Lord is working it out. It's all God's work. God is not with no confusion and no mess.
Yes, Toya. She can't leave well enough alone.
She cannot.
Yeah, she loves attention. Yes, call me darling. Yes.
Them people gonna be on her. What is she? Now she know that she ain't got no money for no attorney. But you gonna let your people hype you up. Keep doing what you doing, Sylvia. Keep doing a good job, Sylvia. And then when they take your butt down there and you gotta get an attorney, you gotta do a GoFundMe.
You don't have Young Thug money.
No.
And them people are not finna stand in the gap for you like that. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. Now, you had no business putting that lady picture on the internet. Just because they said, the judge said don't record her, doesn't mean it was a good idea for you to take a picture and then put it on your platform. That's for the other case.
I don't know what she got, but I know she needs to sit her tail down. I know her daughter tired of her. Yeah. Let me see. Did y'all see Fannie Mae with her braids? Yeah.
She going
down
to the wash shop. Fannie tired. Fannie tired. Between his YSL and Trump trial, it took a lot out of her. Mm-hmm. It took a lot out of her.
So Manny go to court tomorrow or Monday?
Is it tomorrow or Monday? Yeah, it's on the other case. She has an attorney for the other case. We talking about what she about to get into around this YSL trial and what Fulton County is alleging she did.
Yeah, she do too much.
She really does. And my heart goes out to Dallas, her daughter. Dallas worked hard to try to take care of her mama, and her mama just always in some shit. And it's just stressful, and it's a lot going on. So, my heart goes out to Dallas. I can't imagine. I'm working to make sure me and my mama good, and she always getting into some mess, inserting herself into something that don't have nothing to do with her. It's a lot. Gloria Love said her pre-trial is tomorrow. Okay, got it.
Okay.
IS's pre-trial is tomorrow. Okay, got it. For the other case.
Black. Okay.
It's just a lot. It's just a lot. It really is. You would think she would calm it down, but she not. She just loves being in the mix. Yes, Dallas seems like a nice young lady. She does.
Yeah.
And that would annoy me. It's like we already having to make sure, stressing out, make sure you have an attorney for your other case, and now you about to get into something else. It's just too much. It's just too much.
Yeah.
Come it on and say Dallas be with the mess too. Child. they need to lay low and bring it down, because Fulton ain't playing with them. That DA office ain't playing with them.
They mad because, you know, they already looking like they ain't up to par. So they going after whoever they can make them look like they know what they doing.
They trying to get a win any way
Where
they
they
can.
can.
And they just, shout out to Pammy Pam, the law intellect. The state revoked Fulton County's petition to have, or Fulton County's request to have Young Thug's, parole revoked? So Young Thug's parole will not get revoked. Fulton County made a request to the court to ask if it could be revoked because they felt like when he posted, what was she the detective or the
Prosecutor?
What,
the investigator?
The investigator, private investigator, the one who they didn't want to have shown on camera during the trial.
Yeah, the motion.
And he
was
tweeted her
leaked.
picture.
Yeah.
Basically saying that she was a liar.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, well, we want to get his probation revoked. And the court said no. So Thug, he's still free. His probation is still intact. I don't know what this going to mean for Manny, but I'm like, you don't have Thug's money. You don't. Karen said Dallas is ratchet too. Not y'all throwing Dallas under the bus, spraying her tea. We try to give little Dallas the benefit of the
she ratchet too, huh?
Everybody like, she ratchet too. That is hilarious. I don't know, y'all. It's just between this and the shenanigans she pulled last week with Naomi, Grace, and Sonia, you would think she had enough drama for the week. Because that was a complete ish show last week with Sonia and Naomi Grace. And it's just like one thing after another with her.
Naomi Grace wore her out.
She let her have it.
She let her have it.
It's just too much, y'all.
I'm looking forward to they live tomorrow.
You gonna watch the live tomorrow?
Sonya, so I'm looking forward to Manny and Sonia live tomorrow. I hope they come on back up there tomorrow.
Let me see. Call Me Darling said, Manny's lucky the judge denied his probation being revoked. Now she needs to go somewhere and sit down. She really do.
Yeah.
She really do. I'm like, you already got one case that you going to court for. You don't need to be getting into something else. I'm here for the show said Naomi put her foot in Sonya and did. She ate her up, baby. So bad that she started drinking wine on the live. She was so stressed.
She said, hold on, let me go get something.
And had to get her reinforcement, okay? And if I was Sonya, no more free food for Manny. She wasn't eating nary piece of chicken on my dime. Call me petty, but she wasn't eating nary piece of rice, French fry, nothing.
Oh, Lord.
On my dime. That was a mess.
I hope she show up tomorrow. Call me darling. I'm sure looking forward to it.
And knowing her, she will still do the show with Manny.
If that little helper show up tomorrow, she
probably
everything
will.
she get.
She probably will.
I hope she show up tomorrow. I'm looking forward to the live tomorrow.
Yes, I'm here for the show. Said hollering all over little mama head. Yeah,
yes.
She was hollering over that baby head.
Yes.
Poor Measure. And she'll probably have Measure on her lap, hollering, screaming again. Measure trying to go to sleep. No, it's time for Measure to be put in the bed. Karen said Naomi had Sonya swallowing deep in that glass of Kool-Aid. Okay, just a hot mess.
Yep, it was just a mess, y'all. It was a mess.
Just a mess. And you know what? But do you think she would bring back Naomi Grace? Naomi Grace ate her up too, though.
Nah, Naomi Grace ain't coming back.
You think Naomi Grace banned from the channel?
Nah, I think she banned. But it sure would get her some content, though, for a part 2.
For a part 2.
And Manny was smart. I'll bring Naomi Grace back for part 2.
Bring on, ask her why she ate Sonya and her like that. Why she went after them like that. That is smart.
I would bring her back for part 2.
That is smart. I'm here for the show. Said I hope Measure slaps the Alfredo out of her. Bish. Baby, poor measure. Sweet baby. She already got mom and daddy that don't have it together. And now her caretaker, who she hollering, screaming at 10 p.m. at night over her head, trying to explain herself to a complete stranger about a man that was never her man. Call Me Darling said, I think I heard Naomi said she had enough of the YouTube streets. Not Big Naomi. I know Miss Big Naomi ain't had too much of the YouTube street. Not all that hell and commotion she raised. I know you in line, Call Me Darling. I know you in line. The way she showed out. And I was here for. I was eating my popcorn, honey. I know she didn't have enough for the YouTube
Yeah, that was the
streets.
highlight of my Friday right there.
I'm here for the show. Said Sonya pretended she was having technical difficulties. Yeah. Because she knew.
She knew.
She knew the mess was coming. And she said, I can handle it. But she couldn't.
She couldn't handle it.
She couldn't.
Mm-mm.
She couldn't. Naomi took over that show. She was the star of that show. Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know. Maybe Manny she been talking about this whole thing with the YSL trial. So we'll see. We'll see if she goes live tomorrow with Sonya. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, y'all. So I just hope things get better with Dre. Like I said, my heart goes out to him because my dad went through something similar with my brother. I'm here for sure. Said Sonya said, "Who you effing?" Naomi said, "My husband."
That was epic.
That was epic. Carmen Darling said, "I don't think anyone else will get a chance to do what Naomi did. She played a fan of Manny to get up there, which was strategic."
Oh, okay.
That was very strategic. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. She definitely did. Yeah. And then had the nerve while she was eating her up to ask her to do a favor for her, to help her with some real estate. I holler. I said, Naomi
And she
got
know
the audacity.
damn well, man, they don't know about no real estate.
I said Naomi is something else. I guess she wanted Manny to look into some stuff for her or pull some court documents. I don't know, pertaining to real estate.
But I know she ain't know nothing about no real estate.
I say Naomi is something else.
Yeah, that was epic.
That was epic.
We need a part 2.
I mean, it will be nice, hell.
We need a part 2.
Since we see she's gonna keep up with the mess no matter what. I mean, Carmen Darling said she was offering her a job. Oh, I thought she was just asking for a favor to do something.
Oh, she was offering Manny a job?
Really?
Carmen Darling?
I thought she was just like, do me a quick little favor, sis. Can you look into this for me? I didn't know she was trying to ask her for a job. But we know she ain't trying to work no 9 to 5, so she can forget that.
Nah, she ain't trying to work no job.
No.
Nah, she ain't trying to work no job.
She ain't trying to do that. I got it.
Mm-mm. That ain't what she trying to do. Clap back with Swiss. Yes. The clap back. Manny said, I don't need a job.
She has her bill payer. She said she has her riders and her what else?
Her riders. She has her riders and her subscribers.
The riders help get the bill paid.
Yeah, those who pay her bills.
Right, so she don't need no job.
She don't need no job.
Yeah. She said, bitch, I am a job. I don't work a job. I am a job. I'm good.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a lot going on, y'all. Trump to put off these tariffs. Dre going through with his baby boy. Manny can't seem to stay in her lane. It's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's a lot going on in the world, y'all. It is. It's a lot.
But y'all, we gonna keep on watching and see what's going on. We got to the end of the month for the hearing.
Pre-trial. Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely, what do y'all think Nesso's gonna take a plea? I don't think he is. I think it's gonna go to trial either later this year or early next year, but I don't think he's gonna take a plea. Based off of what he said with Dre, he's not giving up. That March 1st call with Dre, he's saying that
just
overturn.
Oh,
okay, good.
Good.
Okay.
Good, because
Okay, now what about China? Because China said we can go tariff for tariff. China said whatever y'all own, we own. And you know, darn near everything in Walmart and everywhere else is made in China.
Yeah.
So I need to look up. Karen said Sonya can't get her Temu tragic. Right. What's gonna happen with the Temu and the Shein? What's going on with China? I need to look that up. Okay, where are we at with that? Cause that's gonna hurt, and then yeah, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt with China. China like we own whatever y'all own. They not backing that. China say, bitch, if you feeling froggy, jump. So that kind of got me, you know, on edge a little bit. So I need to do some research and see what's going on. Let me see. You have something to say?
No, that's it. I want to thank Belle Noir for the Belle Noir for the $25 super chat. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And the cash apps too that you send. We appreciate you all. We appreciate everybody who support us. We really do. We are oh so grateful for you all supporting us.
Yes. Call Me Donna said, why am I starting to feel like he's going to get out?
Don't you start that shit now.
What would y'all do if Ernesto touched down? What would y'all do?
Oh, call me,
hey,
darling.
Shady.
No. Hey, Shady.
I'm here for the show. Said he should take a plea like 10 years. What would y'all do if Ernesto end up getting out? If he end up touching down this year or early next year? We need to put out a warning.
I want him to get out.
To all the ladies. Y'all stay woke. Because it ain't safe, it ain't safe, it ain't safe, it ain't safe. If you get caught up with Ernesto, if he get out, God forbid, that's on you. You get caught up with him.
Glorious Love talking about me too. Y'all think he gonna get out?
I'm here for the show saying maybe bond, but not sure about the CP. That would be a scary day.
Oh,
because it'd be only a matter of time before he get back.
Somebody hell no.
So he find his next prey.
Y'all think he gonna? I don't want him to get out.
I don't either.
Oh no, he need to stay his ass in there.
I'll do it on Monday. Said I watch the Sonia and Nesto show, and we'll see how long they will last before they get to fighting. But they would fall out. Call Me Donna said, hide your kids, hide your animals, and your wives. Yes. Yes.
Yes. It be hell in Atlanta. It will be hell out here. And what he gonna do when he get out? What is he gonna do but go back to doing what he used to doing? Yeah, he got too much going on for them to get him out, y'all. Oh, no.
Yeah, he got charges in other counties.
But
even if he got bond, now that I think about it, who would pay it? We know Lamont ain't finna do it. We know Dre is too preoccupied with his family. We know Dion ain't finna do it. Shirley ain't messing with him, so he definitely ain't getting no piece of that $5 million over 5 years. So he still wouldn't be able to pay it. And we know Sonya more focused on buying her 20-year-old car and looking at condos in Miami, which I don't know if I believe that. But you can get condos on Section 8 though, so maybe she works something out. She knows somebody that knows somebody who got the hookup, but I'm gonna leave that alone. But anyway, she not finna put no money up. So even if he were to get a bond, you know, hypothetically speaking, we just speaking hypothetically, who the hell would pay that?
Her lease is up. She said her lease is up in July. She say the lease is up down now.
Yep, and she looking for condos in Miami. Do y'all think he's moving with her? I think that if he were to get out, hypothetically speaking, absolutely, he would try to go with her.
He can't go to no Miami. They not finna let him move out. If he get bond, he ain't finna go no Florida.
She would just come back here.
Oh, she would definitely come.
She would come back here.
She would definitely.
Yeah, Call Me Darling said Sonia's in the middle of a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Maybe she's betting on that money. Maybe so.
Maybe so.
Maybe so.
All right, y'all. So we gonna see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, we're gonna see what's gonna happen, y'all. All right, y'all. That's all we got. We ain't got no more. We're gonna go ahead and call y'all Saturday again. If you just joined in live, please make sure you go back and watch the replay. Like I said, our hearts go out to Dre, and you know, just praying for our community as a whole. You know, I just wish the best for for him. And I just pray for healing amongst black men, and that, you know, they can work together to help one another. Not to say that there aren't pockets of that going on across the country and the world, because there are, but I think we need black men to band together and work together to help one another, you know, now more than ever, because they need each other. And who better to teach a man how to be a man than another man? You know,
Yeah.
especially a man of integrity, and, you know, who means well, you know, because we carry a lot as black women, and it's time for us to put down that burden, and it's time for the men to step up, and it's important that we as black women give them the space to step up, you know. But it's time for the men to raise their kids and, you know, get their kids in order. And shout out to the men who are already doing that, you know. But
Yeah,
yeah.
shout out to all the men who are taking care of their responsibility and spending time and investing in your children. It is so important, y'all, to spend time, because like Dre said, the streets will get them.
Yeah.
The street is ready to bring them in.
Devour them. The streets don't love nobody.
The streets don't love nobody.
The street just collects souls, and the prison system just collect bodies for profit. So this is deep. And so I just hope that, you know, Dre and his son's mom, they continue to pray for his son, because, you know, you don't want to end up losing your soul to the street or your body to the prison.
So we praying for Dre's son, y'all. We praying, say it was meant for Dre to call Nesto so we could hear that call.
Because it's relatable. A lot of people are going through that. And our hearts go out to any of our dynamic family who are currently going through that or have been through that. You know? Like I said, my dad went through something similar with my older brother. That's 10 years my senior. And it was tough. You know, it took a toll on my dad, and it hurt my dad. You know? So we do the best we can with our kids, you know? And we try to do better so that they can have a better life and go further than us.
Absolutely. Each generation should better themselves. You should do better than the previous generation.
Yes. Yes. So.
All right, y'all. Well, I got to go because y'all know I got...
And me too. Bye, y'all. Have a great night. We love y'all. Please hit the like button. If you just joined the live, please go back and watch the replay and hit the like button. Also, please comment below and let us know your thoughts when you go back and watch the replay. We appreciate you guys if you just leave comments or like, because it helps to boost us in the algorithm. We'll see y'all later.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I thank y'all for all the kind words.
Yes.
I'm going to do a pop-up show Saturday, and then y'all know I do my Sunday.
Sensational Sunday. So if you are in our members and you caught my members live about my stepdaddy suing me, she did a live last Sunday, filling in the gaps of that story time. So make sure you go back to her channel, Sensational Sunday, and she'll fill in the gaps. She did a story time about her divorce. All right, bye y'all. Have a great night. We love y'all. Take care.
You all.
Yes.